Many Americans are struggling from paycheck to paycheck. In Arkansas, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is turning to the faith community for help. At the first ever Arkansas Faith Summit, government and faith leaders explored solutions to a number of issues, including hunger, foster care, and education. CBN's Paul Petit reports back from Little Rock.
Hunger continues to be a national concern, with one Arkansas food bank providing more than 11 million meals each year.
Food insecurity across the nation, 40 million people, more or less, is the last number that I heard. So the problem is way too large for one organization to try and solve.
That's why the Northwest Arkansas Food Bank partners with more than 100 agencies to provide nutritious food to children, the working poor, and senior citizens in their region.
Things like food insecurity are a big reason why kids even enter foster care in the first place.
Helping the needy is the reason more than 200 area faith leaders met here in Little Rock for the first Arkansas Faith Summit.
There are all these silos that operate within the state, whether it's within government or the faith community, the private sector, the public sector. And so bringing all of them together to work in a collaborative spirit to face and tackle some of the big issues happening here in the state so that we can talk about and focus on some of these big issues.
Flanked by her father, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, they spoke candidly about their belief that faith is the force behind tackling issues such as food insecurity, along with foster care, social media concerns, and education freedom.
These faith groups are the driving force behind all sorts of charity.
I hope this is something that we do every year in Arkansas.
Stephanie Nichols shared how school choice is vital to education and how the state's LEARNS Act provides funding for parents of eligible students who choose private schools or homeschooling.
One of the things that I encourage attendees to do, for example, my kids go to a homeschool co-op that meets in a church. If churches will open their facilities for educational purposes, then we have more kids who can be educated in biblical worldviews.
It's also important to spread the word that help is available. So Governor Sanders recently launched the Arkansas Faith-Based Initiative website. It allows any person or organization to go online and connect with others engaging their communities in a variety of areas.
A lot of these entities are already doing some of this work, but bringing them together, working together, I think will allow us to have a much bigger impact and really move our state to the top and be a great blueprint for other states around the country to follow.
While Florida and Tennessee are also promoting faith-based initiatives, Governor Sanders believes a statewide networking event like the Arkansas Faith Summit is the first of its kind.
And I certainly would encourage other governors to take on and really look at and see if it's something that could work in their home states as well.
The governor told attendees at the Arkansas Faith Summit that she's not trying to turn the Capitol dome into a steeple, but she did encourage them to live out their faith. And a big part of that is working together to help others.
I think when your faith is authentic, you don't take it off when you step into whatever job it may be.
A portion of the summit took a closer look at the facts regarding separation between church and state and how Christians can be bolder in their faith without fear of crossing a line.
I hope that we see a lot more creativity in the body of Christ and innovation as we go forward, because I believe that we all have something to bring to the table in that approach.
Anytime you have this many pastors and faith leaders in one room, naturally everybody's coming with their own thoughts, their opinions, their perspectives, but I'm really appreciative that we can gather under one banner with one purpose to say we believe that the intersection of faith and government matters and it's important, and we believe that there's a greater purpose and a greater call for our state, and we believe that the church should be a part and should be on the forefront of that.
What results from this event and its outreach remains to be seen, although Kent Eikenberry says if the gospel accounts of Jesus feeding the 5,000 is any indication, the needy here have much to look forward to.
I joke a lot of times that Jesus himself ran the very first food bank. You know, he took 5 loaves of bread and a couple of fish and fed the multitudes. And that's what we're being asked to do every day.
In Little Rock, Paul Petit, CBN News.
He fed the 5,000 after he preached the gospel to them, and then through the demonstration of that power to multiply, he was able to preach again. It's one thing, it's sort of a curious thing in our culture today. If you feed the hungry, everyone will applaud. So if you're the government and you say we want to provide food programs and we want to feed the hungry, if you're a nonprofit, if you're a faith-based nonprofit and you want to feed the hungry, everybody's going to applaud that. But when you step back and ask the question, well, why are they hungry? Or why are they chronically unemployed? Or what's going on sort of behind the scenes that this hunger is a symptom of? And how can we address that? And how can we lift them and do what the gospel says? He takes people from the ash heap and he sets them with princes. How can we change their lives, and not just for all eternity, but right here in the here and now? That's where faith really comes into play. Government can't provide that. But government can provide an equal playing field. Government needs to ensure all of that. But one of the concepts that the Founding Fathers had was a United States without the Bible wasn't going to be an effective democracy, because you didn't have that compassion and that kindness working throughout the culture. That's one of the reasons all the generals, the officers of the Revolutionary Army, when they retired from the battle, the revolution was won, and instead of trying to seize control and let's run the country, what they did is they formed the American Bible Society. And their intent was to make sure everyone had access to a Bible, could be able to read it, because they were convinced that faith was the bedrock of our democracy. Let's get reconvinced of that. I think it's really important going forward that if we recognize that we need to be one nation under God, indivisible, that under God piece is missing right now. And can we restore it, and restore it effectively? If we can, well, then God will bless America.